Today, we are going to be diving into the Great Wall of Ancient China and did the benefits outweigh the costs? So please prepare yourself. There is documents A through F today, and we are going to be analyzing the benefits outweighing the costs. So you have to choose a side. Was it worth the cost or was it not? Just like normal with our DBQs, we're going to start off with our hook today. We're going to do a think, pair, share with our hook, and you're going to be looking at and charting some items today. Then we're going to go into our background essay. We're going to mark that up, read the first sentences together, make a prediction, read through it fully, and then go over those answers. And then we're going to do our pre-bucketing and understanding the question. So we're going to look at what bucket, aka what category, each one of these documents A through F is going to go into. And then we're actually going to analyze those documents. We're going to mark them up. We're going to TTQA by turning the question around and rewriting the question into the answer for full points, basically pre-writing your essay. And then we'll get to that final part where we're doing our final bucketing. You're going to choose your side, whether you think it's worth it or not worth it for them to build this wall. The chicken foot is your thesis. Remember, it's that funky word for that funky little thesis that we'll do. And then the essay. Remember, the more you give in the beginning, the more work you put into this DBQ ahead of time, really citing and rewording the question and the document into the answer, the more you have pre-written your essay. The DBQ should be the hard part. The essay should be the absolute easiest thing that you ever do in my class. Marking the text is an active reading strategy that asks students to think critically about their reading. It helps students to determine the essential information in a reading passage, isolating it visually from the rest of the surrounding text. While reading the text, students analyze ideas, evaluate ideas, and circle and underline essential information relevant to one's reading purpose. With a pencil in hand, students focus on what is being said in the text, leading to increases in comprehension and retention of textual material. Marking the text can be used with textbook readings, articles, primary source materials, or classroom Cornell notes. TTQA is a grade, turning the question around encourages deeper thinking and engagement with the topic at hand. By rephrasing the question or considering it from another angle, you not only clarify your understanding, but also open up new avenues for exploration. This technique helps in identifying assumptions, exploring different perspectives, and crafting more comprehensive and thoughtful responses. It fosters critical thinking and can lead to more meaningful discussions, whether in academic settings, professional environments, or everyday conversations. Today, we're going to walk through the front of your packet. Your essential question that you will be answering your essay on is the Great Wall of Ancient China. Did the benefits outweigh the costs? The picture that you're looking at here that's preluding to a technique, a section of the Great Wall built with the pounded earth technique, which they will go over later on. Your overview. The Great Wall of China is often regarded as one of the man-made wonders of the world. It was built over a 2,000-year period, and GPS satellites have measured its various sections to be 5,488 miles long. Such a wall did not come cheap in terms of lives lost and time and money spent. This mini-Q focuses on two of the early Chinese wall-building dynasties, the Qin, which is 221 to 206 BCE, and the Han, which is 206 BCE to 220 CE. It asks if all the effort was worth it. We're looking at documents A through F this time. Dividing it out, you should get through 3 documents today and 3 documents next class. Document A. The Great Wall of Qin in Han, China. Document B, relations with the Shangyu Mongols. The document C is the tribute to the Shangyu. Document D is the Silk Road trade. Document E is peasants and soldiers. Document F, poetry of the Great Wall. The purpose of this hook exercise is to acquaint students with the cost benefit analysis so that they are familiar with the technique when doing so in this mini Q. Read the issue to them and the tasks out loud in class. Then divide students into pairs or groups of 3 and give them 10 minutes to complete their cost benefit list. Allow a few minutes at the end for students to share their list and answer the question: the interstate highway system, do the benefits outweigh the costs? So students are going to go through this as instructed up here. You guys are going to think, pair, share. So read through it independently, read all of the instructions, kind of think of some of your answers. Then I will let you know when it's time to pair up and discuss at your tables. I will put a timer up on the board for you for this section, or you guys can pause and time yourself. Honestly, it says in here 10 minutes. I think you guys need about 2 minutes for your pair and then share out so that you can then see the results and spot check what the DBQ project thinks that you should have. There's quite a few items listed up here on the board, but I'm just going to list out a few of them, which is the higher gas prices when federal tax gas is added. Highway systems will encourage more traffic, causing more pollution. Trucks will replace trains as major freight haulers. America loses a way of life. All these different things are possibilities. They do not have to be the things that you picked at all. So if you did pick up some of these, that's great. If you didn't, that's completely fine. These are just some options that they suggest. Obviously, your options, if they're similar or you were stuck, your group had an issue, if you want to clean up the wording, you can look at some of these items here. Benefits of doing this. I'm just going to list out once again a couple of these items. You can look at them yourself. There's stronger national feeling as people become better connected. The fast food industry will grow along the interstate. There's different things. We'll strengthen our national defenses by making them more mobile. All these things are here. Whatever you guys came up with, I'm sure is great in your groups. If you guys were struggling to do any of these items, please look through here, clean up your wording, add a couple items if you want. But this was really a preview engagement hook activity to kind of get you in that thought process as we go. Here, we are going to go over marking your text. There's a couple of strategies that you know that I really love doing: underlining your title, numbering your paragraph. Normally, then that leads us into EAL, which is eliminate the wrong answer and look back. But this part doesn't need that. So please underline your title at the top. The Great Wall of Ancient China, did the benefits outweigh the costs? Number the paragraphs 1 through 6, with 7 being the picture. Please note that 6 starts above the picture and continues underneath the picture. So that's not a 7 underneath. Read to understand by marking the text. Use one highlighter to highlight the first sentence of every paragraph, and then go through with another highlighter. It's bolded terms, people, places, dates. Please go through and highlight those items. You'll see that on here, I did yellow and blue for my colors. Whatever colors that you have are great. The key purpose of this is to bring our attention to these items as we're reading. Key vocab that you should include in your essay as well. Once you have finished this, we are going to move on to our next slide where we will begin reading. Once you're done with marking up your text, you're going to go through, you're going to read those first sentences to yourself. Sometimes in class, I know that we popcorn read those out. Read them out, make your prediction of the question at the bottom, and then fully deep dive through. Those first sentences become very important because it's giving you a prelude, an idea of how important that first sentence is when you get to your thesis, your baby thesis, whatever it is. That is super key and important. Make sure that you are setting a timer for yourself. And here on the slide that is provided for you on your classroom, there is a 4-minute timer. That's how long it should estimate take you reading through this, especially after you pre-read. And you've already gone through and kind of read some of these items as you're marking, which is a preview engagement strategy. And then we will move on to the back to answer these questions. Now that you're done with marking the text, please turn over. We're going to walk through your background essay questions. We're going to answer 1 through 5 together, TTQAing it, showing you how I want you to answer it, and then writing down those terms and definitions. Going over these first sets of questions together. Here, what were the first 2 important wall-building dynasties? The first 2 wall-building dynasties were the Qin and the Han. How many years did each of these dynasties last? The Qin lasted 15 years from 221 to 206 BCE. The Han lasted about 400 years. Was there one Great Wall of China? Explain. There was not one continuous Great Wall. Different dynasties added on different sections over a period of hundreds and hundreds of years, just like we looked at in our TED Ed video during our doodle notes. What is the connection between the wall and the Mongols? The connection between the two is the wall was built to keep out the Mongols who lived in just north of China. What is the primary building ingredient of the Hangtu wall section? The primary building ingredient of this section is going to be that one that we preluded to in the picture in the front, layers of pounded or tamped dirt. These are the definitions that I need you to have and that I need you to know the specific definition for the DBQ purposes that we are doing. Please pause the video, write these items down, and then turn this video back on so that you can move on to your next section. Understanding and pre-bucketing. Super, super important that you are able to do this. Whenever you get an essay, you should be writing down that essay question. You get a book in language arts or English class, you should be writing down and asking that teacher what that essay question is. You should be organizing towards that essay question the whole time that you're going. When you get your book, open up that front fold, write that essay or project down at the beginning, and then continuously organize the themes of it, the buckets that you are going to be putting the evidence in, what page numbers is it on, how are you finding this? So this is a great strategy to use not only in the DBQ project, but beyond. So what is the analytical question asked by this mini Q? So our analytical question is right at the top of your page. The Great Wall of Ancient China, did the benefits outweigh the costs? What terms in the question that need to be defined? What terms do you think would need to be defined? Okay, what are you qualifying as a benefit? What do you mean by cost? Like, what kind of definition of a cost is it? And outweigh. So the benefits outweighing the costs, how are you defining that situation? Because it depends on the situation. I'm not going to the grocery store in this essay and cost benefiting analysising in there. Should I get the Kraft brand or should I get the Publix brand? So please make sure that those are the words that you are putting down. Rewrite the question in your own words. So you're going to rewrite that question as a question because you are going to use that per your checklist in your essay. These are some great tips and reminders of reason why we're pre-bucketing. We want structure and clarity. We need critical analysis. We need effective writing process. We need thesis development. All these items are super important. As a reminder, pre-bucketing is seeing where we're going for that end goal. So when your teacher is giving you an outline for your book of what are the themes to your book, whether you're reading To Kill a Mockingbird or you're reading Just Mercy, you're going through and you're looking at those themes as you're going through and you're marking them off and searching for those things to fill the buckets as you're going. So it's metaphorical buckets. How are you going to fill up those paragraphs to complete that argument later on? You're pre-writing your essay. On the front, you guys are going to predetermine which ones you think are benefits and which ones you think are costs. So you're going to do that yourself. I have pre-given you the worth it buckets and the not worth it. There's 3 reasons for each. It means that you have 3 middle paragraphs arguing. For reason number 1, for worth it is going to be security. You're going to use ACE. So you should be looking for that and theming it out. If you want to mark it ahead of time on there, you can. Reason number 2 is increased trade. You're going to use A and D. Reason number 3 is openness to new ideas, which you are going to be using D. Not worth it at all. So the high mortality cost is reason number one. You're going to use E and F. Reason number two is harsh working conditions, which is BEF. And then the Shing Yu and Tribute is reason number three, which is B and C. Right here, I'd like you to pause and go through each of your documents. You're going to put a box around everything that you see. You're going to write your question at the top of your page. Your question is, the Great Wall of Ancient China, did the benefits outweigh the costs? Then you're going to mark the document with some arrows. Sources, notes, captions, letters, numbers, anything that is there, you need to read that first. On your AP exams, if you choose to take APs, you need to look at the sources, notes, and captions. That's going to give you the most amount of your answers. Then that's going to lead you into your context clues of whatever it is. Examine the source itself, exactly what it says. Look through the picture, the poem, the whatever it is, the mortality rate that they're talking about. Then consider the notes and captions that are there as you're looking at the questions. You should read the questions as you are going in so that you can go through and actually look for those answers as you're going. If you want to color code it like we do our bell work, that's perfectly fine, but you should be reading for the purpose of those questions. Make sure that you're rewriting the question and the answer so that you know that you have a complete answer. You know you have all the requirements met. Remember, you get a point for TTQA, you get a point for complete sentences and a full concrete answer with document-based items in it supporting your answer. Say, here we come. You only need to create a hook, some buffer sentences, and your conclusion paragraph. You already pre-wrote your entire essay. So this is a did you know fact because you already did amazing. Good job. Pat yourself on the back. You have pre-wrote your essay. You just need to put it into essay format. I know that sounds crazy, but if you did your work the whole time, you rewrote the question, the answer, you answered completely, you cited like in document C, it says this, like you really did all your work, you're just copying and pasting it over. So you're going to be doing that coming up. You're going to do your final bucketing, choose which side that you are going to be on. You're going to look at your chicken foot, and then you're going to head into it. Here, you need to pick your side, whether it's worth it or not worth it. We already went over these during pre-bucketing, so I'm not going to go over them again. Remember, you are pulling your evidence from there. You're going to write out that baby thesis in front of each one of these paragraphs, paragraph 2, 3, or 4, and then you are going to cite and use that evidence. So you're going to say, in document A, it shows that security by blah, 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 blah. In document C, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to use your evidence. The blah, 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 blah that I'm talking about, which sounds kind of annoying right now, but it's literally you pulling from your answers. Those questions are angled towards your evidence. There's no reason why you don't already have the answers to your essay. Your essay is already pre-written because they've designed it that way. So please, the essay is the easy part. The DBQ is the hard part. You've already done the hard part. So go put it in the correct format. This is the exact same thing and the exact same idea of if you know your essay question ahead of time for reading your book, for reading your language arts that we've talked about over and over and over again, you already know the end project. So mark it up towards that. You already marked it up towards that. You've already answered it towards that. You've already written sentences towards that. Now you just need to organize it and worth it or not worth it. You have one of two options that you are going to be picking for your chicken foot. Construction of the Great Wall of China was worth the cost. Like put a little dot dot here. Security, defense, comma, increasing trade of goods, comma, and openness to new ideas, period. Or Great Wall was not worth the cost. Dot dot. High mortality, comma, harsh working conditions, comma, the Shang Yuan tribute, period. Each one of these items is going to be your big last sentence of the first paragraph, and then they are going to be smaller sentences doing the beginning part and a little tiny toe for each of your baby theses on your checklist. Right now, you need paper, pencil, your DBQ packet, your checklist, and your rubric to get started. If you would like to pause and look over, these are some pretty elaborate, but like some good hooks to kind of get your thoughts going. If you'd like to pause and read these over to kind of get your flow going, remember you can look at the front of your DBQ packet. That also gives you a bunch of really great hook ideas. The first sentences of every paragraph in the background essay are also good ideas as well. Make sure that when you're grabbing a checklist, one, you're checking off as you're going. As you write your grabber, you check it off. As you write your background, you check it off. Restating your question, check it off. That is your answer in number 3 in the background essay questions. Right after that, there's understanding the question. Then your chicken foot, check it off. Then go in, check everything off. Make sure that you grab the correct checklist based on which type of essay that you picked. Please remember that I do not give you a grade, you give yourself a grade. Each one of these items pairs up with your checklist. So 0, it's not there at all. I can't find it. It doesn't make sense. It's not there. 1, you kind of have it there, but not fully, or it's like it's getting there. And then 2, absolutely there. I can put my finger on it. It's great. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's there. It's exactly what the expectations were. So remember, I don't give you a grade. You give yourself a grade. Double check. You have this rubric with you. You have it digitally. You have it on paper. Make sure you're doing the correct one, and whether you're doing worth it or not worth it. I don't give you a grade. You give yourself a grade. So please double check this before you turn it in and give yourself that A, because I only put the grade in the grade book. I'm grading the work that you did. Last but not least, you are super awesome and amazing. And if no one's told you that today, you did amazing. You did all the work. The DBQ is the hardest, the essay is the easiest, but no matter what, it was exhausting. It was a lot of work, a lot of writing, and I'm very proud of you.